are the norm. LSU's beaten Auburn the last 3 times they have played them. TJ Finley did not have a memorable game. The overthrow in his second career start. Nehemiah Pritchett returns it down inside the 5-yard line. Initially called a touchdown. They called it back. He stepped out of bounds. Bo Nix to Eli Stove to cap the ensuing short drive.
Yeah, I like the way they used Eli Stove today.
No question.
The CD. It wasn't just in the passing game. It was in the jet sweep game.
Yeah.
And did a lot of different things with him. He's a good football player.
Finley, 3 turnovers on the day, 2 picks in this fumble. Watch Christian touches, take it and run. That made it 14-0. They end up winning 48-11. 48-11, snapping that 3-game losing streak to LSU. By the way, LSU, their last 2 seasons, the 2 lowest scoring games they have had have both come against Auburn. Both of these teams are off next week, but I don't know how you begin to describe this.
Remember last week on Monday, everybody was talking about, is it going to be Miles Brennan or is it going to be TJ Finley going forward? Well, when you have the protection that he did last week, when he didn't get touched, when he didn't get sacked, when the no quarterback hurries, you look pretty good. But Auburn's defense dialed it up today. 4 sacks on the day, 7 tackles for losses, 5 quarterback hurries, and forced 3 of those turnovers, which led to 21 points.
What a rout it was. Jalen Waddle, of course, out for the year. You saw him there, Alabama, just underway against Mississippi State. Devontae Smith.
You never see that happen down in the red zone.
So close to a 28th career touchdown catch. It results in a field goal, and Alabama's up 3-0 on Mississippi State. This is a game nobody expects to be remotely close. What are you looking for from Alabama specifically?
I want to see Alabama's defense and how they respond to this offense at Mississippi State that everybody seemingly in the last 4 or 5 weeks has been able to just smother. And, we've seen Alabama have very brilliant moments on defense. We've seen them, play not so well. So it's going to be interesting to see how they handle this. They're going to try to throw it all over the lot. But Alabama needs today, they need to play well on defense. They need to get turnovers. They need to get pressure on the quarterback. That's one thing, CD, that I haven't seen them do consistently is pressure the quarterback, and that's going to be key for them moving forward in the season.
Funny to talk about an Alabama defense that doesn't pressure a quarterback, right? But that is the case this year. The thing I'm looking for, Dari, is how this team reacts without Jalen Waddle. I think they have enough talent that it won't make a huge difference on the field, but the leadership, this guy is a special player, not only as a receiver, but in the return game as well. Not having the threat of him being able to take the top off of a defense is going to change the way defenses look at defending Sarkisian's offense. So I want to see Slade Bolden step up in that spot. I don't think they'll miss too much of a beat, but it is going to be sad for us to watch an Alabama game without number 17 out there.
Well, and I will say this, too. It's going to be very interesting. We know Sark is one of the best play designers in college football. So how do you compensate for this, right? So, is this going to be a deal where you put Najee Harris out in some empty sets to get some more, throws down the field and catch and run after the catch? But you know that he will design something to compensate for that because he has to.
Remember when we used to look forward to that Bama-LSU game and they got the bye before they play each other? They got the bye before they play each other. I don't know how much we're looking forward to that game, though. Things are different right now.
Really between Barry Odom and his game plan and what Jimbo has offensively, right? Because, look, you said people are on the A&M bandwagon. That would be me a little bit, at least right now.
Are you all in? We're like 1 foot in, 1 foot out?
I'm going to say I'm mostly in. Does that count?
8 toes in.
8 toes in, 2 are still dangling. But from what I've seen them in the last couple of performances, yes, I'm in on the A&M offense.
How about what we just saw? For the record, Saturday stud. I had no choice but to take the Ole Miss defense. They ended up giving up 421 to Vanderbilt. They'll take it because of what they did offensively. What was the most impressive part of their offensive plan?
It was the start from out the gate. I mean, he completed his first 19 passes. Matt
Which
Corral
is school
did.
record for a game,
Loaded up. His man Elijah Moore. Hey, we got to make up for the 5-catch, 16-yard performance from the week before, so we're going to feed you from the outset. I don't have any idea why Vanderbilt never adjusted to the fact that you might want to play a little more press coverage. You might want to not give as much space. You might want to double Elijah Moore because we're going to keep throwing the football to him.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was dealer's choice, right? And if they weren't covering him, then it was Uboa. I mean, I can go down the list, but the performance of Matt Corral was simply outstanding. He was accurate. He got himself out of trouble. He hit the guys that were open, and even when they weren't open and the windows were small, he was able to deliver the ball. Outstanding performance.
Give you some historical numbers here, and then we're going to send it back to Nashville for a second. Corral, 31 of 34. That's 91.2%. Ties Josh Dobbs for the highest completion percentage in SEC history in a game with at least 30 attempts. He's also the first quarterback in conference history with a 6-interception game and a 6-touchdown pass game in a career. His happened to come 2 weeks apart. which is incredible. But, of course, his favorite receiver, Elijah Moore, school record, 238 yards receiving, and almost all of it.
223 in the first half.
In the first half. Here's Don Davenport with Elijah.
Well, Elijah, 14 catches, 238 yards, 3 touchdowns. That's a pretty nice day for you. What were you seeing out there?
Whenever my number was called, I just try to make the play. I try to be the player that the coaches know I am.
You and Matt Corral have a special relationship, and we were able to see that today. Maybe describe that for people. What is it about you two and that connection?
It's just unmatched. You know, I work with him. He's a hard worker. I really just put all my trust in him. Whenever you do that, you can't go wrong.
You told us coming in, you don't want to just break records. You want to shatter records. Well, guess what? One of your friends, A.J. Brown, one of his records went down today in single game. You ready to text him? What does that feel for you?
It feels good. You know, I really love doing stuff like this. Records are meant to be broken, and I want to show people that can happen.
What is it that makes this offense so special?
The whole team. You know, I feel like everyone is bought in, and whenever you bought in, you know you can't go wrong.
Thank you, Elijah. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, they keep churning out receivers in recent history, and you know Lane Kiffin's all too happy to see a guy like Elijah Moore. What do you see when you watch Corral and Moore and the communication and connection between them?
No, chemistry, no doubt. And I think last week Lane probably went back and realized, boy, that was a mistake, only getting him the ball 5 times for 16 yards. One of them was a touchdown. But the guy's dynamic. And you know what? When I look at wideout, CD, I always look at guys that want to compete. Those are the guys that usually separate themselves from the rest. In other words, this guy, when the game is on the line, he wants the ball, and he wants it often. And that's what great guys do, right? When he does everything. He catches the ball over the middle. Even when we've seen him, safeties have come in there and smoked him. He holds on to the ball. He's great with rack yards, runs after the catch, right? He does everything and even blocks on the perimeter. Mm-hmm. So this is not a big, physically huge, imposing guy. This is a competitive guy who you love to have on your team, and you can tell he's a worker. But the chemistry between him and Matt Corral right now is outstanding.
It's a pretty good roster that Lane Kiffin inherited, right? Elijah Moore that we're talking about already. Jonathan Mingo was there. They got in the transfer, Kenny Yeboah. But, Dart, to your point, what do you think the receiving classes are going to be like going forward when you know you're going to be able to catch this many balls, when you know you're going to throw the ball around as much as Ole Miss does?
And even before Lane, when you're looking at A.J. Brown and D.K. Metcalf, and they're just going to continue on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're putting up those numbers. What receiver wouldn't want to go there?
And then Metcalf, by the way, with the chase down for the Seahawks the other day. That got some national attention as well. All right, Matt Corral, part of a 7 passing touchdown day, which is a school record. He threw 6 of them. Here he is with Don.
Well, Matt, you set a record, 19 straight completions in that first half. What were you seeing out there?
I was just taking what they give me, playing within the system. My O-line did a good job of keeping them off of me, and the receivers did a good job of getting where they were supposed to be and getting to their landmarks.
6 touchdown passes today. That also tied Eli Manning's single-game record. What does it mean to you to be in talks with the guy with the last name of Manning in the record books?
It means a lot, but, I can't give my team enough credit. Like I said, they did their job, helped me make mine easier, and just staying within the system. And obviously, being in a conversation with such a highly touted name like, Eli Manning and the Mannings, it means a lot. All this hard work's finally paying off, and now my coaches are messing with me behind the camera.
I asked Elijah what makes this offense so special. In your mind, what do you see that makes this offense work so well?
The type of stuff that we can do, the varieties that we have, the type of athletes that we have on the outside, and the type of running backs we have. Our coaches do a good job of getting the scheme right of what works for that defense that week. And, our offense changes weekly based on how they're running their defense. And, they do a really good job at it because they put in their hours for sure.
Certainly helps to have a guy like Elijah to throw to as well, huh?
No doubt.
Congratulations, Matt.
Thank you.
Yeah, impressive performance from him.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And I think the next step is consistency, CD, because if we go back the last 2 weeks, you can count 8 interceptions in both weeks, didn't throw for over 200. Then you come back in a game like this, and they torch you. And we saw him torch Alabama. We've seen him torch folks. but it's gone back and forth, right? So we've seen some really, really outstanding, really unprecedented performance.
It's impressive to have somebody that athletically as well.
Yeah, that's a big offensive breakthrough performance from a team we know is going to put some more of those games together over the course of the season. All right, another offensive breakthrough performance. Auburn. Holy smokes, did we see this coming or not against LSU? This is a